doing? So I pick up Joseph at school, and Joseph says, Akiva's gonna come home with me, okay? And I say, fine. Akiva's in the back seat, and Joseph's, you know, singing along some song, and I'm making fun of him. Katie, are you listening?
He was asking me who Akiva was.
Oh, okay, one of his friends.
Yeah.
And Joseph's, you know, some song on the radio, and I'm making fun of him. I'm telling Akiva that Joseph sings along to the song at home with pom-poms and dances in a skirt. And Joseph's like, no, I don't. And, you know, we started arguing. And I was like, I saw your pom-poms. Anyway, so we're kind of fighting. And then Joseph starts talking about music and how he hates this song. But he likes Eminem. I don't know. Suicidal, Beautiful Girl, some song called Beautiful Girl.
He doesn't like female singers.
Okay. So he starts talking about how he really likes Eminem. And I said, you shouldn't be listening to Eminem. He says, I listen to Eminem. And I said, not in my car, you don't. Because he was like trying to get me to put Eminem on. And he's like, well, I only really know one bad song. And I was like, what song? And he said some name, but I don't remember what it was, and I didn't recognize it, so whatever. And I was like, stop listening to bad music. You know mommy's gonna yell at me for it, so, like, don't. Because the whole Rob Zombie incident was bad enough. And so they're talking, and he's like, well, you know, I know just one bad song, and I only know a few bad words, but the other day when sorry for this, when I was talking with,
in trouble again.
Sorry. So when I was talking to Katie the other day, and I said, Katie, I know some bad words, and Katie was like, you don't know what motorboat is. And
I knew I was going to be playing for motorboat.
Okay,
you mentioned it. I knew you were going to. I knew it.
This is not the point of the story, though. Hold on, we're moving on. And I was like, he's like, well, tell me what it is. I'm like, we're not talking about this. I'm like, and then, just listen. And then Akiva says, well, the other day I was with Toby and someone else, more Jewish sounding name, and they were talking about bad stuff. And I'm like, well, were they swearing? And he says, no, they weren't swearing. And I was like, well, what was the deal? And he's like, something about, I'm like, what? And he's like, something about masturbate? And I'm like, what? I was like, okay, no talking, no more talking in the car. This is quiet time. This is quiet time, because the last thing that I want to find is Akiva's mother calling me and saying, why are you talking to my son about masturbation? And so I'm like, okay, no, we're not talking about this. And Joseph's like, well, what is it? And Akiva's like, well, my dad told me what it was. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good.
His father's Dr. Rock.
Okay, he's a doctor. This is the best part of the story. So Joseph's like, what is it? And Akiva's struggling in the backseat. He's like, well, my dad told me that it's something that, it's not mature, and it's something that 13-year-old Christian boys do. And he says, basically, it's just a waste of sperm. And Joseph, like, turns bright red. And that's why I can't imagine Joseph licking someone off, because he blushes at the word sperm.
These boys are so funny.
Yeah.
All right,